and my pronouns are he, him.
Pick a topic.
Well, there's two topics I disagree with.
We're not calling you by that username. What should we call you by?
Ton. Just call me by Ton. T-U-N. I disagree with the first one. It's all men, even the good ones. And I disagree with black people can't be racist.
Pick one.
Sure. Let's go with the top one. It's all men, even the good ones. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm. All men are recipients of privileges that disenfranchise and subordinate non-men.
What does that mean?
Patriarchy.
It's all men within the patriarchy? I don't know what that means.
All men are recipients of privileges that disenfranchise and subordinate non-men.
Okay.
Patriarchy.
What are the examples? What's the examples?
Gender, wage, job. Women are oppressed politically, socially, and economically.
Okay. And all men are recipients of this?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a stat to support this?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
No, let's hear that. We read much travel in the sleep token. That was sleep token in the chat, by the way. Stay on mute. You can wait till I'm done. You don't need to get it on now. I'm gonna get it right now. I think I want to bust out the source from last week, Shay.
The wonderful one?
Just like, yes, just for the cherry on top.
Yes, do it. I haven't been able to use it yet. But it's fantastic.
So excited. I'm excited. Well, this is kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. Is she grandstanding right now because she can't find a source?
No, I don't have it uploaded right now. Alright, I'm gonna have to re-get it.
Do you want me to send it to you?
No, it's in the Discord. It's in the Discord. I just didn't. I thought I downloaded it stuff from last time. Q, go get your other fucking account, bro. Oh, wait. Why is it both of his accounts here? I'm scared.
I did get my other account.
Why do you have both of your accounts here?
The other one was an accident. I didn't know I was on that account still.
Socrates' last student.
That's like that. That's scary.
My fault, man.
Holy shit.
Okay, why?
Maybe it'll be fun. Maybe.
Jay, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Cute.
I'm good.
Alright. This is not connected to Chromium. Let me connect this to the screen. Okay. Ooh, that was the wrong thing I meant to hit. Well, bam! Okay. So we'll start here. There are three sources. We'll start with this one first. So this is the Global Gender Gap Report 2025. The 2026 report is not out, but this is from the World Economic Forum. This looks at the disparities in terms of educational attainment, occupational attainment, healthcare access, and political engagement. And then so overall, places like the United States. Where is it? There it is. Places like even Iceland, which is ranked number 1, doesn't have full gender equity. And the United States ranks 42. Okay. Understanding that patriarchy is just a system, a societal structure that favors men and grants them privileges. The structural functionalist theories of gender inequality points out the structures of how gender inequality works, patriarchy, and things like that.
Yep.
And so it breaks that down. And then lastly, this report, so masculinity as a resource, bridging identity and structural gender inequality through property theory, just breaks down how those with masculinity are able to push forward a system of, or so the owners of, quote unquote, owners of masculinity, and thus can use and mobilize this specifically. It's quoted right here.
Yeah, I have zero issues with three of your sources.
So can aspects in which owners can use and mobilize to relate with others and benefit from the belonging to the group of men.
Yep. I have zero issues with three of your sources. So what's the conclusion that you draw from these three sources?
Yeah,
The
that
three
all
sources
men
that
are
you-
recipients.
That all men are recipients. Oh, really? That's the conclusion that you draw from these. Where does it say that all men are recipients?
That's literally what's talking about the benefits of belonging to the group of men.
The benefits of belonging to the group of men right here. And what does it say?
Yeah, that they're the owners and utilize and mobilize and
What
relate to
men?
others to benefit from belonging to the group of men.
What men?
Masculinity. This is a structural functions breakdown on the
Yeah, it's a theory. Yeah, that's a
on
theory.
how masculinity works.
Yeah, that's a theory.
So
It's
is
a
gravity.
sociological theory. Yeah, I agree.
So-
I
so
agree.
is gravity.
I'm not saying that's false.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a theory. But what's the
Yeah, so
theory
is gravity.
positing? But what's the theory positing right now?
Yeah, that that you can mobilize and use masculinity to benefit from.
And how does that lead to the conclusion that all men
Because all men identify with masculinity.
all men identify with masculinity? That's what you said? Really? 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 You stand by that? I'm asking you seriously.
Yeah.
Do you stand by that? All men identify with masculinity?
Yep.
Even gay, feminine men?
Yes.
Yes. What does that mean?
That's how they know them. That's how they know they're men.
That's how you know you're. Wait. So what does this mean? What does this mean?
What is what?
Masculinity is how you know you're a man. So are you referring to like the? Are
Yeah.
you referring to someone? Are you referring to sex, or are you referring to a gender role? Because masculinity is typically associated with a gender role.
It's gender. Men
So
is gender.
masculinity is how you know you're a man. That's I'm
Yeah.
confused here.
Yeah, I think you're conflating gender expression with gender identity.
I think you are conflating the two. Because you said
What's
that
the
that's how
difference between- what's the difference between gender expression and gender identity?
gender identity is what you identify with, and gender expression is how you express yourself.
Yeah, so like
Like,
a feminine man identifies with masculinity. That's how he knows he's a man. But he may
What is
express his
masculinity?
gender in terms of femininity.
What is masculinity?
Yeah, masculinity is just attributes that are associated with boys and men.
Really?
It's gonna it may change
Like
for you from
like
inside.
physiologically? So like having big
There is
muscles.
no
and
there is
titties
there is
masculine?
there's like no physiologically like there are attributes we associate with boys and men, but it's a social construct.
Yeah, so it's a social. So what I'm saying with is, why would they associate with masculinity? Why would feminine men or gay men associate with masculinity? I don't understand your point here.
Because they identify with being
They
a man.
identify as men, as in
Yeah.
in like sexually, like their body. Yeah, sure, they
No.
are a man, but I'm confused
No.
as to where they identify with
No, I
masculinity.
think you're conflating sex and gender.
No, I'm not conflating sex and gender. I'm
Yeah, you
identifying
are.
the difference between the two. The difference between your
like
sex, between your chromosomes versus how you identify
like
yourself.
trans men that may that are female, right? Don't have the same exact anatomy structure. That doesn't make them any less men.
That. Well, I'm not saying that made them any less men. I'm saying how
Like
are you conflating masculinity?
you're attributing their body of cis gay men to masculinity when that's not the case because trans men exist.
That's not what I was conflating with. I was asking you,
You
why is masculinity tied
Then why'd you bring up
to the
sex?
to the identity that they're bringing
Why'd
up? I
you
brought
bring
it
up
up
sex?
because whenever someone
There's
says
nothing
I'm a
to do.
man,
There's nothing to do with the actual like physiological makeup instead of attributes you assign to it in terms of like gender performance. So we've assigned muscles to masculinity. That doesn't make like anything that actually relates to sex.
Yes, obviously. What I'm asking for is why does this
Great.
grant privilege in the case of whenever you're associating masculinity with men, and you say that masculinity provides under this theory that masculinity provides advantages. I'm asking you.
It does.
You're saying all men identify with masculinity. I'm asking you to clarify that because that doesn't seem to be
I
true.
already did. I
Because
already
that does not seem
clarified
to be
multiple
true.
times. Yeah,
You're
it
treating
is.
because whenever all men identify with masculinity, I don't think that masculinity is tied to being a man.
And it literally is.
Yeah.
Unless you
Sure,
provide me a
in
source that
most
it's not.
in most cases, wait, hold on. Sure, in most cases it is, but I'm
Can
saying
you provide me a
within
source that it's not?
within LGBTQ.
Yeah,
within the
even within
LGBTQ
queer
community.
spaces, gay men are still men. I don't know if
Gay,
that's a
well,
guy.
obviously they're still men. I'm saying, are they masculine?
They're men. They're
Are
men
they
because they
masculine?
identify with masculine
They identify
within
with
their gender
masculinity?
within their gender identity. They identify
I think
with masculinity.
you're
That's how
wrong.
they know
I
they're
think you
men.
are wrong
That's-
on this. I don't think
you
you're
just
correct
saying
on
I
this.
think you just saying
I
I
do not
think
think
does
you're
not
right on
provide. You just saying I think doesn't provide. I need evidence. Like show me empirics.
Show you empirics for what? What claim?
Yeah, like how masculinity works.
Like how masculinity works. I need to show you. When did I say how masculinity works?
Like you are saying this is not how masculinity works. So show me evidence.
Because the claim was given to me in the first place. I'm
Yeah,
asking you,
and you're
I'm
saying
asking
so when you say you
owe me evidence.
I already
Wait.
gave you a source. I already gave you a
You gave me a
source.
source.
I
No,
already
you gave me a
I already
source
gave
that
you a
you-
source.
you
So
gave me
if
a
you're gonna
source of
say
a theory. You gave me a theory
I want you.
about-
Literally, gravity's a fucking theory. Like
you get-
gravity's
yeah,
a fucking theory.
I'm
That
not
does
saying
not
it's
like.
false. I'm not
It's the
saying
thing we
it's
have
false.
most evidence to. So
not saying
this is
it's false.
this is a peer-reviewed study
I
from
don't disagree with
sociologists. Okay, great.
I took a
And so
sociology class, I understand.
what you're saying though is not. I don't think this is true. Provide me evidence to the contrary.
Wait, wasn't evidence
No,
presented
you.
for the
I already
affirmative in the first
provide you. I already provided you evidence. I
This is
provided you three
evidence
sources
for
of
that men
evidence.
have privilege. I don't disagree with men having
Yes,
privilege. I don't
great.
disagree with men
all,
having privilege. I
yes,
disagree
all
with
men,
all men having
identify
privilege
with
in their
masculinity. That's how
justification
gender
with tying
identity.
masculinity to
Bro,
being
I'm
a
literally
man.
still fucking talking. Okay, great. I'm explaining to you what the issue here is. Okay. All
There is
men
an issue.
identify. That's
Hold on. There's an
if
issue. There is an
if
issue.
you were, I'm literally talking. So you'll wait your turn. It's that simple.
You're okay. Go ahead and lie,
Okay.
and then we'll go right back to what I was talking about.
I know. It's hard. Letting women talk is so difficult. Anyway, masculinity, unless you have any other source that says otherwise, is simply just attribute, and even plays a role in society. Like this breaks down the role, but there are other sources that tell you the role it plays in society, right? And it's to keep and maintain a gendered hierarchy. The characteristics of masculinity is how people are able to identify whether they're boys or men, right? So whenever they see gender performance, because masculinity is part of gender performance, right? That's simple sociological understanding, right? It's gender performance. The gender performance of masculinity is how those identify with it. So gay men still identify with the masculine gender performance of being men, right? They find proximity to that. Now in their gender expression, they may find proximity to femininity. That is different, right? That is the difference between gender identity and gender expression. Just like there are trans women who are butch lesbian. They do not identify with masculinity in terms of their gender identity, but their gender expression makes you towards the masculine and identifying with being a butch lesbian. I don't know what's not hard here, or I don't know what's hard to track here, unless you provide me a source that says otherwise on how gender identity and gender expression work.
Yeah, there's the issue here is that whenever it's talking about masculinity and tying privilege to masculinity, I'm failing to see how that would tie into all men. That's my issue.
Yeah.
And whenever you
it's
said masculinity is tied to being a
simple.
man.
I got you.
That's
I got
the
you.
issue.
So like, are you confused here? Because like, gay men still have privilege. Are we okay? Like trans men, especially
Yeah,
compared
and
to
I'm
trans
asking
women,
you- I'm asking you to
Hi,
justify
I'm giving you that. I'm
Go
giving
ahead,
you
tell
that
me.
right now.
Go ahead, tell me.
I'm literally giving. I need you to relax, okay? So I don't need your permission. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say anyway. Glad we established that.
Yeah, you have permission to speak. Go ahead.
So what I'm gonna do now is because you're. So what I'm gonna do now is because you're struggling with this. I'm gonna put you here. When I'm done, you can come back up. Sorry, Q. So trans men, especially in comparison to trans women, are privileged. This is how we hold things the same. That's how we control for variables, right? They're not disenfranchised because they're men. Trans men are not disenfranchised because they're men. They're disenfranchised because they're trans and live in a cis-normative society. That's just a simple understanding of how gender constructs work, right? Just like queer people don't all of a sudden or straight people don't all of a sudden become queer. They were queer their whole lives. It's just that we live in a heteronormative society that finds favor towards heteronormative practices. So it takes longer for people to find out. Trans people are always trans. They're disenfranchised not because they're gender, they're disenfranchised because of being trans. It's that simple. And especially when we're holding variables the same for trans men versus trans women. Trans men do hold privilege in the fact that they're men. They are not as policed within society compared to trans women. Period, point blank. Most bathroom policies are deliberately, intentionally geared towards trans women. Most language in terms of being anti-trans is geared towards trans women. It's that simple. I hear ya. Thank you, Edith, for the glasses.
You eat it.
All right.
Now, you're gonna behave, and you're gonna stop acting like you control the space.
I
okay?
wasn't. When was I acting like that?
Yeah, when you're saying, "Oh, you can speak now," I don't need your permission.
I said that because you said I'm gonna speak regardless.
All right.
So it was just a response.
I am gonna speak regardless. I don't need your permission. Now, what else do you have to say?
Okay, yeah. So what I was saying in accordance to the conversation, in accordance to the topic that I was disagreeing with, I'm still yet to hear a justification for why it's all men. You've just talked about gender roles. You've talked about
I gave you. I already get. I don't know how you don't understand how oppression works.
I don't disagree with these.
We can even look at. Okay.
Wait,
So,
why are you interrupting me?
I'm gonna break it down for you. I got you.
Wait,
so
why are
there's
you
also
interrupting me?
shh. I got you.
Okay.
You want more justification? I got you.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna do this again. So we're gonna do this again because you're just annoying at this point. And actually I'll give the study for it because I haven't given the study for it in a while. We'll give the John and Jennifer study the actual study. Yeah, I just don't need the added commentary. It's just annoying. And he's just going, nuh-uh. This is an example of a lazy debater, y'all. He doesn't have an argument, and his whole thing just continues on going nuh-uh to me. So, if he comes back up and it's just still nuh-uh, then we're done here. Okay. So this is, for those who are actually wondering, this is the actual source material for the John and Jennifer study. It's an older study, I will say that, but overall, it's still important to understanding the structural functionalism of how patriarchy works and overall systems of oppression. So essentially, what the John and Jennifer study did is it held all variables the same. So it held educational attainment, work experience, blah, 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 you name it. It held everything the same. With one added exception, the name John and the name Jennifer. What they found is that John was more likely to not only be offered the position, he was offered $4,000 more on average compared to Jennifer. What this study showed is that John didn't have to fucking do anything. He didn't have to do anything. All he had to do is be recognized and perceived within masculinity, within the patriarchy, and he was granted the privileges as such that puts Jennifer at a detriment. He didn't have to say, pay me more. He didn't have to say any of that. All he had to do was just exist within masculinity, and he was granted these opportunities, even though everything was held the same. And especially when we're seeing other evidence factors, such as from here, right? educational disparities in educational
rough for me at
attainment,
first,
disparities
because
in
she's actually pretty fucking
access to
smart.
capital,
So it was rough for me
disparities
at first, but once I
in
got my
healthcare
footing,
structures,
then that's when I
disparities in terms of
Wait, let me not be
political
corny. Let me not be
engagement,
corny.
right?
Okay. That's not what
These
I took
are
control. That's when I got
points of
the flow
evidence
the
that
conversation down.
point to that this is most likely
And
the
now I'm pretty
case,
confident that I'm gonna whoop her ass.
unless you have evidence
It was
to the
pretty
contrary.
rough though. It was a rough.
In a
few
society
minutes.
that just favors men, and so and when a society that favors men, it means that just existing within masculinity and patriarchy and identifying a man as a man is how this structure works. And you're granted privileges by just being a man. So all men, this like oppression is not something you turn on or off.
Hi again. Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
So, do you have anything on like your understanding of systems of oppression?
Absolutely, yeah, and I
Okay.
appreciate everything that you've put up here. I like
Okay.
what you. I like.
So
the
great. So
thing
real
that
quick,
you
real
just
quick,
put
real
forward. I like the
quick,
thing that you
real
just-
quick, real quick, real quick.
Okay.
Is like privilege is something that you turn on or off in a system of oppression? I just want to make sure.
Obviously not. I'm muted. I was gonna say obviously not.
Okay, great. So
Are you gonna
you think
continuously
like
mute me and interrupt me?
I just want to make sure that like we're
When
getting the
she's
point home and
talking,
like
I am going to mute you. Yes.
yeah, I want to
Oh,
make
while
sure
y'all
there's
over
and
talking.
I just want to make sure things aren't misconstrued too, especially
Absolutely,
if like you're
yeah,
not
yeah.
engaging in like the points and all that
Totally,
stuff. Yeah,
totally,
I am gonna mute
yeah.
you, and if you
Yeah,
don't like
totally.
it, you can just leave. I don't really
Totally,
fucking care.
totally, yeah.
So I just want to make sure we're under the same understanding of system of oppression. So do you understand patriarchy to be a system of oppression?
Yeah. Oh, I'm muted. I'm looking away whenever I'm talking. So I was
I don't.
muted. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say yeah.
Maybe you should pay attention to your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you understand patriarchy as a structure that still exists?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand it to exist globally?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So it's not something you turn on or off, and it's not
Nope.
something you opt in or out of. It's just something that exists. Cool. So
Yeah.
W concession then.
Concession for what? What was the point?
Exists. Cool. So W concession
Yeah.
then. W concession. That's it. I don't know what else to do with that. Like you understand patriarchy is not something you opt in or out of. It's a system of oppression that exists. So there's nothing more to that. Yeah, there's nothing to add more to that. It'll restart. The gift goal will restart. Tap the screen, share the live, do all the good things. I don't know what more you have to add, dude. I don't know why you're requesting, because that's the whole point of the prompt. It's literally just talking about patriarchy, and like the definition of oppression is just privileges granted. So if you understand you can't opt in or out of oppression, you can't opt in or out of the privileges granted to you, it's just something that exists within a societal structure. I don't know what more there is to debate here then.